Welcome to More Than Renovating, a Renovate and real estate podcast. Our founder, Belinda Smith, talks to industry experts to provide you with the knowledge and information you need to make renovating for love and profit your reality. Belinda will also chat to some of her Renovation Mastery members who are just everyday people doing extraordinary things, following their passions in the renovation and property space. So, let's jump straight into the episode. Enjoy.
Hi everyone, I'm Belinda Smith from Renovate and Real Estate, and here we are for another session, another podcast, More Than Renovating. It is all about the human side, the human connection, renovating and profit, and just the whole experience of it. And I'm so excited today to have Sue Goodwin with me. Sue has been a student of mine for a while now. When did you start, Sue? About 2019, I have in my head.
Yes.
Somewhere around there, and has gone right through the program, works with me at a higher level, and has just released her own renovation business called Flippin Fabulous. And I have the Flippin Fabulous Sue with me today. It's a great name. It suits you so much. And
thank you.
All right, so we're going to have a bit of a discussion about where it all started for you and what you're at and what you see in your future. And we were just talking before we jumped on air about a property that you're negotiating on. So what area you work in and all that kind of stuff. So welcome, Sue.
Thank you. It's really good to be here.
It's so nice you came on. And I love it when I talk to people and they don't do this all the time and they're always a little bit nervous. So I know you were, but you'll do just fine because I love your story. So Sue, first of all, where did you grow up and how did you and what drew you to renovating?
Okay, so I grew up in a defence family, so we moved from place to place, and it was a really good upbringing. We got to see a lot of the country, but we never really had roots anywhere until my teenage years where we settled down a bit. But I come from a family, my parents are really house proud. My dad's very handy on the tools. Our weekend outings were long drives in the country and visits to display home villages. So yeah, that was the excitement for us. We'd run through the houses, choosing which room we were going to have. And yes, so I guess that's where it began. My parents built their own home in the 1980s, and we had the jobs of, staining all the architraves and estopole and planting all the grass runners to get the lawns going and, all the little jobs. But we were quite involved in that as children, which was nice because then that followed on to my kids.
Yeah,
who I used to drag around to display home villages and have them doing all sorts of jobs as we made our way through renovating different houses, painting fences, and some of them were excited about it and some of them weren't.
Well, less so. Or they're excited for certain stages of their lives and then they lose interest. My kids would do anything when they were 12, not so much when they were 16.
Yeah, pocket money was always a pretty good puller, but yes, as they got a bit older, it was all just became a bit of hard work for them. But I do have my eldest daughter is very much into that zone, an interior designer, so those skills come in very handy for us now.
So renovating has never really been fearful for you because you've kind of just grown into it, grown through it, grown into it.
Yes, so it was never a definite decision.
Yeah.
We bought our first house at I was 23, little old Queenslander cottage, and we set to sorting out the yard and getting rid of all the old sheds and fences and painting and adding outdoor decks, and we just saw it as a way for us to get ahead. It's just always been something that we did as a view to being a potential income, but never quite getting there. We spent some time in a renovation supply business. So we catered to classic Queenslanders and, sold brass fittings and timber finials and veranda brackets and, everything Queenslander. We had it. Then a rather large hardware business set up down the road. And
yes, I know the one.
Yes, so that was the end of the road for us. We just couldn't keep up, and we didn't have that cheaper version of tinny brass. So yes, that ended up going belly up. So that was a bit of a challenge along the way. And I went back as I was looking at where this all came from. And just in my marriage, we moved 8 times in 18 years. But when I added up over sort of 48 years back then, I'd moved like well over 20 times in that time. So, I was used to packing up and seeing different places and living in different spaces.
Yeah, and going. And I've moved a couple of times too, and I've always found that at the time you feel like you're leaving your home, but it takes such a short time for the new place to feel very homely. Does that make sense? You get emotionally attached to another place in a short amount of time. As soon as you get your things in there and you paint it and
it's what you put in to it that makes it home. Isn't it? You walk in and it's a house, and I guess that's our focus now, is to find these homes or these houses and turn them into homes through renovation and furnishing, and not just for ourselves but for other people through our consultancy business. So there's space. Yeah, and
I was going to ask you something then. Hang on. Cut this bit out, Tanea, while I have a think.
Sorry.
No, that was me. I just cut you out with a question and then I forgot what the question was. And during this time, what was your day job? What were you doing? What was your career path?
So early years, I was a mum at home, and then I embarked on a university degree in teaching. That took me about 6 years with 3 little ones, had a baby in the middle of that. And then I've been teaching for the last 16 years. That's just come to a close, and I'm pursuing renovating through our business full-time now and providing consultancy services for other people who want to renovate but are just not quite sure where to start or what to do.
And having all of that design knowledge, like having done so many homes, you take all of those skills with you, and also your partner, John. What are his skills?
Yes, so John and I met about 10 years ago. He's a qualified carpenter. He did that later on in his life, but he's from the land. He's grown up out in the bush and having to learn to do things for yourself. You couldn't just run down the road and get somebody to weld something up for you, or go and get a fencer, or fix your roof. So yeah, he's really multi-skilled across a wide range of areas when it comes to building and maintenance. So
a really handy guy. So you guys complement each other with your skill set. Like as a team, you guys are a force to be reckoned with. When, like you said, some people don't know what to do with a property, and they don't actually want to go and do an education program like mine to learn. They just want the job dealt with, and they've got no idea of where to start, and they really need support.
Yes, I just find it's not so much a job. It's really a passion for me. It's the sort of thing that I used to do. I would sit for hours and hours drawing up house plans and modifying floor plans from project builders, think, I don't like that there. I would just immerse myself in everything to do with property. So for me, this is not a job. It's a real passion, and it's really good to now have a pathway that I can see to make that my business and my future as well.
So we started together only a few months ago, and you had a client, yay, already.
Yes.
You're already on your way, essentially. You're already on your way.
Yes, so it's always good to get that first one out of the way. So I did a design brief up for a young couple. He just needed some guidance in how everything would fit together so that their home flowed and they had product that was affordable and suited their lifestyle, and also catered for future possibility when they come to, sell and as their family grows. So, yeah, it was really exciting doing that.
I know. The design, just for the listeners, the design plan was gorgeous. Like your product selections were just spot on, and you understand the demographics so well because you're local. Okay, so what area do you actually offer your services in?
So we're located just west of Brisbane in the Lockyer Valley. We do work from the Ipswich through to Toowoomba area, which caters for rural and residential properties out this way. There's a lot of classic Queenslander style properties, as well as, the range up until, modern day building. So, but there's a lot of older homes and a lot of families out here, and a lot of those homes don't cater for modern family needs.
So there's a lot of homes need updating.
Yes, they're everywhere.
They're in every street, in every suburb of Australia, in every street. Every year, homes are getting older and they need updating. So renovation, you really love it, right? So what is it that you really enjoy about the whole process of renovating?
I think it's watching that transformation, taking that ugly duckling into the beautiful swan. And now that focus is on doing that for other people. And it's really watching other people get joy from walking into their home and having it work for them. So, yeah, putting in all the finishing touches. It's not very exciting when you're building in framework and, putting up gyprock sheets and things like that. I wouldn't say that's so exciting, but it has to be done to get the end result. Once you start getting the paint and flooring and those sorts of things on it, gives it a life. Yeah,
agree. And so are there thoughts when you renovate, are there thoughts about actually making money or earning an income, like profit, or you just love the whole romance of renovating?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. I mean, the romance and the passion of it fuels that business side of it. And yes, the goal is certainly to be making money out of it. We've just started Flippin Fabulous consultancy services. So we're offering renovation consultancy, small scale to larger scale projects. So at the moment within the local area. Yes.
And looking at joint ventures, tell me a little bit about your thoughts about doing joint venture projects with somebody else.
Yes, so because of the skill set that we have, we're capable of doing a lot of the work ourselves. We're looking for some local properties. We've found a few little Queenslander cottage style properties, and we are looking to do joint ventures with other people and draw on their experience as well along the business side of things. And I think it's nice to work with other people and get their feedback, and it's always good to have a bit of input from others.
So you've always worked with John in his carpentry business. Like, what's your role been with him and his business?
Lucky extraordinaire.
Sandwich maker.
Go fetcher. I'm pretty good at that. I know where all the tools are now. I get on the tools with him as well. We do quite a few bathrooms. So, cutting tiles and mixing mud and doing the grouting, those sorts of things. So it's not just that I'm standing there watching him and just passing him a tool. So, doing the painting. He hates painting, so I get to do the painting.
Yeah.
We are in the middle of a little reno of our own at the moment, a 1974 dark brick hardy plank place. So that's where I'm spending my spare time, on the roller and the paintbrush. yeah, we do work together well, and it's the same thing as going in with the JV. Some of the jobs we do together, it's good to have each other's perspective on the job.
Yeah, agree. Who's in charge of all the colour selection? And I can answer this one.
That would be me.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
thank goodness. Yeah.
Do not let him near colours or styles of things. He would like, you need a chair in there, just that one will do. And
yeah.
yes, so no, I do the colour, I do the style, I do the plan, he does the work.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, honestly, you guys are such a dynamic duo, and I find it a lot when I talk to couples. Everyone has their own skill set, and when you can work really well together, and then if you're doing a joint venture with another couple and you've got maybe, you know, the income from the other couple or the lending ability or the property, and that's, you know, when you can sit down and work out what everybody should be doing and what everybody needs to stand back from before you go and do a project, and they work really, really well.
Yes, I think we're fairly flexible with joint ventures, but yeah, primarily we're looking at being the hands-on. That's where our experience is.
Yeah, yeah. I'd leave a property in your hands any day of the week and just let you at it, you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so talk a little bit about what it's been like working with us in the community at Renovate and Real Estate.
Okay, well, I have really loved it because, like I said, I've spent, you know, many years pottering around buying and selling painting, but not having so much of a clear direction. And it's a bit of a solo gig, especially, you know, if you're around other people that aren't quite as passionate and don't get it.
Yeah.
So, you know, the main thing that I've got out of being part of the community is that you're in a community and you're with other people who have the same sort of passion, have lots of varied experience that we can draw on. Everybody shares what they're doing and asks for advice. So it's a point where, you know, we can be involved in giving and receiving advice. I've loved all the training modules, just to hone in on different areas where I'm not quite so confident. I can pull up that training, and yeah, just the learning and the professionalism is great. But
we've loved having you in the program, and personally, Sue, I've seen how happy your progress has made you personally.
Yeah, it's given me a real focus forward. I think keeping the end in mind, I know exactly where I'm going with this, and I think as long as you always keep that end goal in mind, you know, everything else falls into place if that's what you focus on. And that's where we're at the moment. We know where our business is going and the how is falling into place.
And so your long-term goal is to retire, or are you going to be bored? I don't think I could retire completely. I'd be too bored, and then I get into trouble if I'm bored.
No, we're probably at that age where we should be starting to, you know, financially we're starting to think about getting retirement funds together, which, you know, we probably should have done 30 years ago, but we didn't. You know, life throws you different curveballs. But so we're 53 and 54, but I couldn't imagine retiring like in 10 years. The joy of this business is that we can wind it up and wind down. Our eventual goal is to make it mobile. All our children are grown up. You know, we have the tools. They're in the work trailer, and get a van and set off and do a reno here and a reno there. So we're not limiting ourselves just to working in our local area. You know? And you know, it's flexible. It's good. I have a day a week with my granddaughter, and then, you know, if I'm working on a Saturday, so be it. I can have a Wednesday off, you know, and that's a much better deal.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too. There's something amazing when you're in charge of your own day-to-day activities.
And I think as we get older and things get physically more challenging, this is an area where you don't have to stop. We don't have to be up putting sheets on roof trusses ourselves, we can organise somebody else to do those things. So we still get that buzz from, transforming places.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Okay, so what would you say is your strongest point? Like, what is your strength? The standout, Sue?
I think our strength is our organisation, our actual skills in doing the work, and I think it's really our passion, because that passion leads to everything else. We like to think we communicate well, we listen to clients. Every job is different, and we put 100% into it. When we go into a job, we treat it as if it's our own house, and work in there the way that we like traders and contractors to work with us. And we want to leave that place with everybody feeling like, wow, it's a good job, and what a transformation.
And the experience you bring, like, you guys come with so much experience behind you. So over the years, how many homes do you think you've had some kind of renovation impact upon?
Oh, well, I was counting the ones that earlier in life that we personally bought, sold, renovated, and that was 8, probably in about the space of about 18 years. But with in the recent years, we're probably 30. With going in, a bathroom here, a back deck there. So, we've done a couple of, we own and built our own place as well in that time. So, there's been lots of homes touched over the last 2 years.
So really everything from the ground up, from the organising, the scope of works, the costing, the budget, the selections, and even from that last design brief, and I know your work, you're just so on the ball when it comes to fashion, but home fashion, but not those crazy trends, but just long lasting, really nice home fashion that, feels like home and suits the area in which you're renovating.
Yes, so it's really important for me to get that style right and keep it with a classic look rather than what is on trend this year. The demographic that we work with is one where, people want a look that lasts, that stays fresh. They're not going to change the furniture every few years. So, and there's so many classic pieces out there that do that job.
And do you suggest different things for people who are going to stay in their property as opposed to people who want to sell their property and move on?
Yeah, definitely. You cater, when you're catering to yourself and how you live in it, is very different from the way that you would present it for a prospective buyer. You want to cater to as many people as possible. So your space needs to be a bit flexible. People need to be able to see themselves in that home as they walk in. So, decluttering everything, having some classic pieces, areas to move through without banging into things. I've had some people who want to put in some built-in furniture, which we advised against because it just limits the use of your rooms. So you can still get that similar look without building everything into the space.
Yeah, fantastic. If somebody wants to see examples of the types of things you do or love or are into, do you have an Instagram or Facebook page or anything that they can visit, website?
We sure do. So Facebook and Instagram, Flippin Fabulous Consultancy Services. We're on both of those platforms at the moment, and we're just about to launch our website, www.flippinfabulousconsultancy.com.au.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
I've seen your website all getting put together, and look, honestly, it's an absolute joy working with yourself and John, seeing you transition from thinking about doing this full time in some kind of capacity, and like you said, really moving into it being an income producing activity, renovating for yourself and for other people, just turning it into your day-to-day and being able to control what you do every day. Are you teaching at all anymore, or did you give that the flick?
No, that's gone.
Oops.
I don't have time.
That's another valuable member of our education department.
Yeah, and maybe I wouldn't best doing it the way that I've done it, but you know, it's a short life, and I think you need to do what you're passionate about, and that had run its course, and I can see longevity and flexibility with this type of work. So
yeah, same with me in the police department. Loved it. Goodbye. Next.
yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining me today, Sue. And anybody out there, you're really welcome to contact Sue and John directly if you want to do a JV project with them, or you'd like some advice on doing design plans, even remotely from anywhere around Australia. You can contact Sue in relation to design plans. And thank you so much.
Thanks, Belinda. It's been great talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Thank you.